Well, it is, of course, initially aimed at the individual, for them to understand that they can indeed age in a better way. And since lifestyle is the major determinant in how we age, that it is really the choices they make, and it is up to them to influence what the next phase of their life is about. And it's not difficult. It's not difficult at all. It's just, as we said, it's moving, continuing to learn. And by moving, I don't mean, big time exercising. I mean natural movement, regular movement. There's a whole new paper and area of study that believes sitting is the new smoking, in that the risk of sitting is much greater than smoking as far as the risk for chronic disease and to limitations and to challenges as we age. So learning and moving and having and finding a purpose in life and being exposed to other generations, which keeps us young and gives us purpose. And of course, paying attention to what we eat, but staying socially connected is probably another absolutely key factor, rather than getting isolated. So, if the individual does that, they can experience, according to all the research, and I fully believe it. Our research also validates it. That you're much more likely to stay at high levels of function and be less likely to experience the decline, which previously we thought was inevitable, that you're going to decline and it was going to be expensive and degrading and challenging and painful over sometimes now, because we live longer, a couple decades. And the title of my book, Live Long, Die Short, is about that. It's about compressing the time that you are sick and impaired, compressing morbidity, we say in public health. So if the individual can do that, I believe that it's time that our organizations, our governments, our public policy reflects the fact that we have, since the Industrial Revolution, made it more difficult to age in a better way, to keep moving, to have purpose in life. That one particularly, to stay connected and to live a lifestyle. So it's about influencing that public policy, and how shall we do that?
Now, you know, when you say change, have a purpose, how does one get that? How does one find that purpose? So say if you are in your 50s or you are in your 60s or 70s, how do you go about finding your purpose?
This is a key question, and thank you for asking it. Right now, an individual has to almost literally beat down doors to do this. But purpose, I have found, purpose that keeps us healthy usually involves other living things. So it's helping people. It is helping our environment. It is paying attention to growing things, to animals, to plants, to our environment, but mostly to people. So it's recognizing what is important to you, and now, with computers or maybe the internet and asking around and offering and maybe getting out there volunteering, you can find a niche. The whole point of call to action is to make this much easier to do. For eons, our older adults guided our societies. It's only been since the Industrial Revolution, just very recently in our history, have we put older adults off to the side and expected nothing from them. And that essentially strips them of any purpose in life. Certainly it strips them of value and self-worth, and that is destructive. If public policy can make it easier to do this and recognize that we have this huge resource in our older adults, it's like saving gold for 70 years and then pushing it off to the side. We can't do that. And make it much more likely for someone to, say, be a mentor, to be involved in the education of our children, be involved in the child care of our schools, to be involved in the environment, to be involved in organizations as a volunteer, but I think it should be much easier for older adults to be advisors to companies, to governments, to organizations. And public policy that would make that more likely to happen is what we're talking about.
Because I know last time when we spoke, you did mention, about having children around you, having the youth around you to give you life, about laughing and smiling and, But like you said, we definitely need some sort of public policy that gets, the older generation feeling valued, not feeling as if they're being tossed to the wayside and have no input in society whatsoever.
Oh, you are absolutely correct. It's no surprise because for eons, older adults, when we were hunter-gatherers, and we were hunter-gatherers for about 99% of the time we've been on Earth, older adults raised the children. So to me, there are ancient bonds in our very DNA between older adults and children, and there's a sort of mystical relationship there, and it doesn't have to be just your grandchildren. And so that relationship is long and well established, and again, I think embedded in our DNA. And I think both children and older adults are better when that happens.
So your book, Live Long and Die Short. So how can you die short?
Well, again, this is about in public health terms, this is called the compression of morbidity.
Okay.
So this is about limiting the time that you are sick and impaired, so that you are a going concern, being the best that you can be for longer and longer. And when your time comes, it is a relatively short departure from this life.
Okay.
Now, think of what that means. Certainly, I think all of us would want that. It's a higher quality of life. But think about it in terms of, from public policy standpoint, say healthcare costs. I mean, that would dramatically limit healthcare costs if you don't have these decades of costly need for medical support and medical treatment and medical procedures and medical equipment. But I'm saying that from the point of the main thing is that people would be better off and there would be a higher quality of life. So I think if we had to choose, I think we'd all want to be like a leaf, say. You're on a leaf, you turn great colors, you get more colorful as you age, you blend with others to make more beauty, and then when your time comes, you fall off the tree.
Nice. And that's
Isn't that nice?
Very simple as well.
If you look at the cover of the book, the publisher liked it so much, he put 10 trees with the leaves changing on the cover of the book. I
love that. So where can we purchase your book from, Dr. Landry?
Oh, you can get it from Amazon. Thank you for asking. And they have plenty. We just had to print up some more, and that's a good thing. So they are available. And I believe that it is a guide for an individual. I think it challenges our societies and our public policy to look at aging in a much different way and realize that I think our older adults are actually a solution rather than the problem itself. When we think about older adults as a problem, well, we should twist that, change the paradigm, and see them as a solution to many of the things that ail us in our society.